Make a plan, trade your plan. We hear it all the time, all over. But what is a trading plan? A trading plan is a roadmap for you to know what are you going to do in the markets. It will help you with things like your strategy, criteria for entries, stop loss levels, the amount of account per position, how much money are you going to lose and willing to lose on each and every trade, when to trade, when not to trade. What do you consider success? What do you consider failure? Trade management rules, exit criteria. These are all examples of what is a trading plan. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com here with the daily market recap. Please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and without further ado, let's see the charts. SPY on the daily, doji, indecision candle off the 408, 410 level. This level was a very strong resistance for price, also was a very important support for price action. Now, after breaking up above, went back down, retraced, and now doji retesting this level as support. Let's see if this level can hold. We have many Feds talking during this week. Let's see where price and how price will react to all this talking. QQQ also, doji of the 300. The 300 was an open gap to the upside. Price retraced, closed this gap, indecision candle. All we have to do now is wait to see where price will take us. To the downside, we have all the levels to manage risk, or back to the upside. We can see higher lows, higher highs, short-term bounce from the 260 all the way to the 314. The 314, all we have to do is look left, and we can see the 314 area was a very important level of support and resistance for the Qs during 2022. So also now resistance retraced. Now let's see if bulls have enough power in their hands to bounce back and break it up and above. Dow Jones still inside tight price range. The range is getting tighter and tighter. We do have higher lows, lower highs. Let's see where price will take us. Sit on hands and prepare for both sides. No one knows what will happen next. IWM all the way to the 200 and retraced back to the 193. IWM bounce from the 170 towards the 200. Very bullish bounce. Some retracement will be healthy at this point. 193 failing to hold, we will go back to the 188 because this 188 was a very strong and tough resistance for the IWM throughout 2022. So if 193 will fail to hold, most probably with high probability 188 will be the next support to keep our eyes on. And of course, everything you see and hear on this video and on any other video on my channel is for educational purposes only. Always do your own due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone on social media, paid or free services, YouTube, Twitter, Discord, or any other social media. Educate and learn how to become your own indicator. Stop following others. Apple, AAPL, inside day, nothing much. 149 to the downside is the level that needs to act as support. 157 to the upside, but we do have here an open gap to the downside at the 146, 147 area. And as we know, more than 80% of all gaps will get filled throughout time. So pay attention. We do have here an engulfing candle, inside candle. Now all we have to do is wait. AMD, after a breaking up and above post earnings, this trend line went all the way to the 90 level. And if you're following me on Twitter and saw my previous videos on AMD, you see that all these levels and the trend lines were given in advance. And now pulling back 2 consecutive dojis, 81.80 needs to hold. Otherwise, in my opinion, most probably this gap here will get filled. And if for some reason the market will not like the Fed's talking and what they have to say, we will go back down and maybe retesting this trend line as support. If this one will fail to hold, this gap here will also get filled. So all we have to do is follow price and using levels to manage our risk, because this is the only thing we traders have full control of. Risk management. NVDA still inside this area of trend lines. Yellow, green to the downside, orange, another trend line that needs to hold. Let's see if NVIDIA can bounce and break up and above this trend line. If it will, 240 in my opinion is the next level of resistance. Netflix, nothing much also here on Netflix. Inside day, another doji, and as we can see, another great example of why trend lines are the true support and resistance for price action. This trend line, we are following this trend line long time ago, few months already, and we can see clearly that each and every time price is reaching this trend line, it's getting rejected, and here we are once again. Now we can see a clear scenario of a double top of the 370. First top, second top. Now if 346 will fail to hold, we can assume with high probability that this gap here, 324 to the downside, will get filled. Shopify, another great example of why trend lines are the true support resistance for price action. Shopify broke up and above this trend line, opened gap, went back down, and this gap, let's see if it's closed. It's not filled yet. So let's see if tomorrow or during this week this gap will get filled, and then we might get maybe continuation to the upside. We can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high, and not surprising, price closed on a Fibonacci level. Amazon went back down to the 100 level. This 100 level is a very interesting level of support and resistance. Now doji, let's see if we can continue to the upside, bouncing back, because we have this low here, higher low here, and now maybe higher low here if we will get a bounce back to the upside. Microsoft went after breaking up and above this yellow trend line, went all the way to the 264 resistance, support and resistance. Now went all the way back down, closed the gap, and a doji, another indecision candle in the market in Microsoft. Basically doji all across the board today. I went through during hours around 120 stocks, and all I saw were dojis all across. Tesla, not surprising, doji inside candle below the 200 level. This level, as we can see, support, resistance, and now resistance. Now if price will do what history tells us, it will do something like this. It will go back to retest the 170 and then maybe back to the upside, but we do have here this gap at a 146, and as we already know, gaps are like magnets to price action, so keep your eyes and manage the risk according to the levels and to this gap over here. XHB, a very strong sector, the home builders ETF sector, breaking since it broke up and above the 67. If you follow me on Twitter and if you remember on our Discord, Fibonacci-Traders Discord, you know that we took long once it broke up to the upside above the 68. Now retraced, 69 needs to hold, otherwise it will go back and retest the 68 level as support. Bitcoin, basically nothing. Inside day, Doji, 24,200 to the upside, 22,200 to the downside. If this one fails to hold, we can expect 21,600 and maybe even 20,800 to the downside. Ethereum, same goes for Ethereum, nothing special, bouncing up and down between the 1520 and the 1680. SMH, perfect example of trend lines, support, resistance, and once again price tried and went back down below this trend line. So we take Fibonacci levels, swing low, swing high, and now 241 needs to hold. 241 was a resistance, now it needs to hold support. Failing to do so, 231 to the downside. 231 was a support here, resistance over here, and over here resistance. All you have to do, follow price, manage risk according trend lines and Fibonacci levels. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and don't forget Fibonacci Traders Academy, 17 videos, 20 minutes or less on how to become a better trader, technical side and on the mental side. The latest edition unlock the secrets of top traders, the psychology behind trading. Until the next video, stay safe.